Our next guest left her corporate career to pursue a dream in fashion design. And after a lot of hard work and years in New York City without her family, Fotini Copeland built her fashion brand Fotini in 2010, which made its debut at New York Fashion Week and was even worn by Amy Poehler at the Met Gala. So thank you for joining us. Welcome to What She Said.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Now, not a lot of memoirs talk about what it's really like to be successful in what people assume and think is the most glamorous industry of them all, but you've done just that. Your book is called Alterations in Life, comes out on January 14th. So tell us why you wanted to put your story on paper.
I think I wanted to tell the story in a very authentic way, and also I've dedicated to women, young women, and little girls with dreams. I actually started this dream when I was a little girl, but I wasn't able to pursue it until later on in life. And I think for me, it was, let me tell my journey, the ups and the downs along the way, and what perseverance and focus was necessary to, follow that dream. But I think it's just dream, and you can achieve, and if you can see it, it'll happen. So that's why I dedicate it to them.
Well, your story starts in Greece, living
Yes.
with your grandparents while your parents immigrated to Canada, and years later your parents decided it was time for you. So just give us a timeline. What happened?
Well, I was born in Athens to a Greek mother and an Egyptian father, and we immigrated when I was 6 months old to Montreal. At that time, as immigrant parents, they needed it was a two household income, and both needed to work. My sister was 5 years older and could go to school. For me, nursery school was not an option. So at that time, who was going to look after me? They couldn't afford a babysitter. So then the next best thing was for me to go and live with my paternal grandparents in Athens. So that would have been ages probably 3.5 to 6. I was living with my grandmother and grandfather in Athens.
So when you came here, you would have been, I guess, elementary school age?
When I came back?
Yeah.
Yes. I straight into grade 1.
Did you speak English?
No, not one word.
Oh, dear.
And what career did you get into before this?
I was in finance. At 17, I had stated to my parents and my father mostly, being very Mediterranean and Greek in his ways and Egyptian, that I wanted to pursue fashion. And for him, it was, what is fashion? What are you going to do with that? Where's that going to take you? And he said, no, you're not, in a very firm way, and you're going to study business. And much to my dismay, I did what I was told, and I followed that path. That being said, it was probably the smartest path I could have possibly followed.
Well, it must have helped.
I now mentor my interns and teach them that is what you must do first. My father, who is now my biggest fan, also. So, the roles have reversed a little bit. But yes, it's extremely important to study business. But for me, I started working at Merrill Lynch. Then I went to Royal Trust Co. doing corporate portfolio management, and then the Molson Company. So it was essentially a corporate role, and then director of communications at my very last corporate role, which is what got me into fashion.
So now you spent 3 years traveling in Italy and studying the construction of something I love, which is corsetry.
Yes.
It's your passion too?
Yes. I sort of fell into that passion because I did have scoliosis as a young girl and had to wear a back brace. And the lower portion of felt like a corset. Although it was debilitating as a young teenager, it stayed with me. Later on in life, of course, when I decided to pursue fashion and follow my path, corsetry was and continues to be my passion. And I went to Italy to study alongside artisans that unfortunately are slowly, you're seeing a decline. I am talking about the old world artisans in Bologna and Bergamo, which are real corset-based areas. And the magic and the respect, because these people are craftsmen and artisans. They are not seamstresses or pattern makers. They see by eye and they create.
So what makes your brand different?
I develop my brand around women and also how I like to dress. That being said, timeless silhouettes that you can pull out in 10 years and still feel that you can wear. I think my customers were always excited to see the different fabrics. That was my niche, was my fabrics and my silhouettes, and corsetry, of course, tailoring. Those are the really, the fundamentals of any collection. But I think having timeless garments and, beautiful fabrics is just fabulous.
So from Fashion Week catwalks, trunk shows to laugh out loud scenes featuring Amy Poehler and Betsy Johnson, Alterations in Life, your book has it all. What do you hope that people take away from reading it?
I hope that they take away that dreams are possible at any stage of life. I pursued this dream from a little girl. I pursued it later on in life. After I finished my corporate career, I'd had 2 children by then, 2 daughters, and I didn't have babies to focus on so much anymore. So therefore, it's possible at any stage of life. And I think today, sometimes we get pigeonholed into an area where you can't do this because you're at a certain stage of life, or it's not possible. And I mean, I certainly tackled it with no shortcuts, all in blood, sweat, and tears in the garment district of one of the toughest cities in the world. But I think what I want them to take away is an interesting journey, have a few laughs, but understand that there are the highs and the lows.
Now, for anyone in your position or anyone who reads the book and maybe is going through the same thing, questioning whether they're in the right stream, there must have been an aha moment where you said, that's it. I'm leaving this and I'm starting that. Or was it a long process?
It was a long process, but because I had a family, that little dream was almost compartmentalized, and it was just not time. Later on, at my last corporate role, I was a director of communications, and we provided store fixturing for luxury brands. And starting to work in that world, I thought to myself, I have to pursue this. This
now
is
or
the time.
never.
Yeah, it's now or never, exactly. And it was.
So how were you able to channel confidence within yourself while you were navigating the, I would think, highly intimidating New York fashion scene?
I think discipline and focus, is really perseverance. I am an ambitious person, so I wasn't going to give up. And, to your point, it was now or never. So I'm not about to let it stop me. The fear, which, by the way, was with me throughout the whole process. But you have to make a choice.
Yeah, you do. So you also work as a personal brand enhancement consultant.
Yes.
I understand. So have you got a couple of quick tips or tricks you can share to feel and be empowered as a female entrepreneur?
Yes, I think, again, the discipline and the focus. There are no shortcuts. It requires a lot of hard work and dedication. This is an extension of the fashion business, the personal brand enhancement, and I focus on style strategy as well, and empowering women through their visual representation and demeanor through lifestyle. And, we only get one chance to make a first impression, and, how we want to continue to build great impressions and subsequent impressions and achieve our goals.
So what now?
Now the focus is primarily on this personal brand enhancement business, where I will be doing certain speaking tours and fireside chats, and also be working, with customers on one-on-one basis, should they choose to. Yes,
great.
Very exciting.
Alterations in Life. It comes out on January 14th. Where can people go to pre-order it?
Amazon.ca.
Okay, great.
Yes, you can put in Alterations in Life or my name and it'll come up.
Lovely cover.
Beautiful book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fotini Copeland, thank you very much for joining us
Thank you
today.
for having me. It's been a pleasure.
She said